All right. So you sent over some pretty interesting stuff for this deep dive.
Yeah.
This one piece focusing just on today,
Yeah.
December 24th, 2024.
Right.
And it's
Big day.
yeah, it's a big day, but this piece is not
Right.
holding back on some of the dramatic language.
Not at all.
Cosmic shifts, floodgates of prosperity, the whole 9 yards.
The whole thing.
Our mission here
Yeah.
is to figure out what we can take away from this.
Exactly.
Is it just, motivational fluff?
Right.
Or could there be something to this idea of aligning ourselves with periods of increased opportunity?
Well, it's interesting because this source really zeroes in on today's date. Like, it claims it's a pivot point
Okay.
in some grand cosmic flow,
Right.
which, I mean, even if we set aside the mystical wording,
Yeah.
makes you wonder if there's something to that.
I know.
Are there really times when things just line up easier?
Right, like maybe it's not cosmic energy, literally,
Yeah.
but something more like economic trends, political climates, even just the collective
Yeah.
mood.
Absolutely. Those things definitely influence
Yeah.
what we're able to achieve.
For sure, even if we don't always realize it.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And you think about those times in your own life
Mm-hmm.
when everything just seemed to fall into place. Yeah.
Yeah,
Was it just luck, or were you in sync with something larger?
totally.
Maybe you were just more open to taking risks, or
Yeah.
the right people just happened to come into your life at
Well,
that time.
it's like the stars aligned.
Yeah, exactly.
So this source uses this analogy
Yeah.
of prosperity being like a river current.
All right.
Step into it at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
It carries you forward.
Okay.
Miss that current, and you're paddling upstream.
I like that. I think that's a really compelling metaphor.
Yeah.
It speaks to the idea of recognizing those forces
Mm-hmm.
at play around us,
Yeah.
making choices that harmonize with them,
Right. Not forcing things to happen.
but understanding the natural rhythms
Yeah.
that influence our lives.
So if we apply this river current thinking
Okay.
to today, December 24th,
Mm-hmm.
the source is basically saying this is prime time
Okay.
to make bold moves,
All right.
go after what we want.
Mm-hmm.
But before we even get to that,
Okay.
it dives into this whole section about
Okay.
clearing out internal blocks to receiving abundance.
Right. So it's like, even if the current is strong,
Yeah,
you got to make sure your boat is ready to sail.
exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
And they get really specific about those blocks, which I appreciate.
Right.
You know, it's not just vague talk
Yeah.
about positive thinking.
Right.
They call out the belief that money is evil,
Yeah.
feeling unworthy of success.
Mm-hmm.
These are really deep-seated beliefs
Yeah.
that I think a lot of people carry
For sure.
without realizing how much they're holding them back.
Totally. The source really hammers home this point.
Okay.
That even if you intellectually want more abundance, those subconscious beliefs can act like a kink in the hose,
Oh, wow.
preventing that flow from reaching you.
Right.
And they use some strong language about getting rid of those kinks,
Okay.
even if it feels uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's where the practical advice comes in.
Right.
They talk about things like journaling
Mhm.
to identify and challenge those beliefs,
Yeah.
and something they call tracking small manifestations.
That one stood out to me.
Yeah.
It's about noticing those everyday instances
Mm-hmm.
where you receive something unexpectedly,
Okay.
like a compliment,
Yeah.
a helpful connection,
Sure.
even finding a parking spot right when you need it.
I like it.
The idea is that by paying attention to these mini wins,
Mm-hmm.
you're retraining your brain to see abundance
Uh-huh.
as something
Right.
that's already present,
Yeah.
not just something you're chasing after.
It's a form of positive reinforcement.
Totally.
By acknowledging these small instances of abundance,
Mm-hmm.
you're essentially telling your subconscious mind,
Mm-hmm.
hey, this stuff happens all the time.
Exactly.
Let's open ourselves up to receiving even more.
Yeah, but what about that feeling of guilt
Oh, yeah.
that some people experience when they start to thrive?
Sure.
You know, that sense that it's somehow wrong to have too much
Right.
when others are struggling.
That's a really common block, and the source addresses it head on.
Right.
They argue that you can't pour from an empty cup.
Right.
If you're constantly depleted
Yeah.
and struggling, you have less to give to others.
Right.
True generosity comes from a place of abundance,
Okay.
not scarcity.
So it's not selfish to want to thrive.
Right.
It's actually a way to increase your capacity to help others.
Exactly.
But I imagine that newfound prosperity could bring its own challenges
Yeah.
when it comes to relationships.
Absolutely. And the source talks about setting healthy boundaries,
Okay.
particularly with friends and family who might have different ideas about money or success.
Right.
They stress the importance of being clear about your own limits and values so you can be generous without feeling drained or taken advantage of.
It's like that saying, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day.
Right.
Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime.
Exactly.
True generosity is about empowerment, not enabling dependency.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And the source even goes on to suggest that true prosperity isn't just about personal gain, but about using your resources and influence to create a positive impact in the world.
Interesting.
They call this your grander assignment.
Okay.
And this is where things start to get really interesting.
All right. Well, that's where we'll pick up in the next part of our deep dive.
Sounds good.
Welcome back. Before we get into this whole grander assignment thing, I wanted to touch on something that struck me about the source's tone.
Okay.
It's almost like it's daring us to doubt this December 24th cosmic shift thing.
It's true. There is that kind of underlying challenge woven throughout the whole thing.
Like it's almost saying, okay, you can dismiss this as woo-woo nonsense.
Sure.
But what if you're wrong?
What if you're missing out on something?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And it got me thinking, even if we don't buy into the literal cosmic energy idea, there is something powerful about having a specific date to focus on.
Yeah.
It creates this sense of urgency.
It does. It's like a self-imposed deadline.
Yeah.
And we know how effective those can be.
Totally.
Like, think about how much you can accomplish the day before a big trip or a project due date.
For sure.
That same principle can apply to our goals, aspirations, you know?
Yeah.
By setting a clear marker in time, we're more likely to take action.
Exactly.
Great momentum.
So even if December 24th isn't inherently special in some cosmic sense, we can choose to make it special by using it as a catalyst
I like that.
for change. And that brings us to this concept of a grander assignment, which the source presents as this key to unlocking true prosperity.
Okay.
And it's not just about personal gain, but about aligning our success with a greater purpose.
I think this is where the source shifts from motivational pep talk to something much more profound.
Right.
It argues that when we focus solely on what we can get, our motivation tends to be limited, fleeting. But when we connect our efforts to something bigger than ourselves, we tap into a much deeper well of inspiration, resilience.
It's not even just about feeling good, though, right?
No, exactly.
The source claims that aligning with a greater purpose actually makes you more successful.
It does. It's almost like by shifting your focus from I want more to I want to contribute, you tap into a different energetic flow.
Okay.
It's like the universe conspires to support your efforts.
Interesting.
Because they're now aligned with this greater good.
They use this metaphor of a secret handshake with destiny.
All right.
Which, you know, sounds pretty out there.
Yeah.
But I get what they're trying to convey.
Right.
It's like when you're truly passionate about something.
Yeah.
Opportunities seem to appear out of thin air.
They do. And people are more willing to help you.
Right. So instead of struggling to achieve success on your own, you're building this network of support and collaboration.
Yeah.
That helps you achieve more than you could have imagined.
Right. It's like that old saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Yeah, and they take it even a step further.
Okay.
Saying that aligning with this greater purpose can also act as a shield against negativity and criticism.
Oh, yeah.
When your success is clearly benefiting others, it's harder for people to find fault.
Yeah.
Or question your motives.
It makes a lot of sense.
People might be skeptical of someone who's just focused on themselves.
Right.
But if you're using your success to uplift others, it just creates a different perception.
It does. It's like your actions speak louder than any words.
Exactly.
And that kind of integrity can be so magnetic.
Yeah.
It attracts not only collaborators, but customers, clients, investors.
Right. Anyone who resonates with your mission.
Exactly.
Okay. So we've talked about the why.
Okay.
The benefits
Yeah.
of aligning prosperity with a greater purpose. But how do we actually put this into practice?
Right. That's the million-dollar question.
What does a grander assignment look like?
The source offers some really practical suggestions.
Okay.
One is to define your impact goals. alongside your personal and financial ambitions.
Okay.
So, for example, if you're aiming to increase your income, also decide how you'll use that income to benefit a cause that you care about.
So it's not just about setting a financial target.
Right.
It's about setting an impact target as well.
Exactly.
It's like building a give-back plan.
Yeah, I like that.
Into your success strategy.
From the get-go.
Right from the beginning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they even suggest making a specific pledge to yourself.
Right.
You know, when I reach X amount of revenue, I'll donate Y percentage to this organization. Or once I achieve this goal, I'll commit to mentoring this number of people.
I love that.
By pairing each milestone with an impact action, you create this powerful cycle of achievement and contribution.
Like a domino effect of positive change.
Exactly.
And it is achieving those personal goals even more rewarding.
It does.
Because you know it's not just about you.
Right.
It's about making a difference.
Exactly. And the source emphasizes that these impact actions don't have to be huge, life-altering things.
Right.
It can be as simple as volunteering a few hours a month, donating a small amount regularly, or even just using your platform to raise awareness about an issue.
For sure.
That's important to you.
The key is to start somewhere.
Right.
And build momentum over time.
And it's important to remember that aligning our prosperity with a greater purpose isn't about self-sacrifice.
Okay.
It's about finding that sweet spot where we can thrive personally while also contributing to something larger.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like how?
It's about creating a life of meaning and abundance.
Right.
A life where our success becomes a force for good in the world.
That's good. And this alignment, this integration of purpose and prosperity is at the heart of what the Source calls living at the apex of your potential.
It's a powerful vision.
It is.
It really challenges us to rethink what success really means.
I think so.
But it doesn't stop there.
It doesn't.
It goes on to offer even more insights and strategies for actually manifesting this vision in our lives.
Yeah, we've only just begun to scratch the surface of what's possible.
All right. We've been talking about this grander assignment thing.
Yeah.
This idea that prosperity isn't just about personal gain, but about aligning our success with something bigger.
Right.
How do we move beyond just thinking about it?
Yeah.
To actually, living it out?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Source, thankfully, gives us some pretty practical steps.
Okay.
One that stood out to me is this idea of weaving it into the very fabric of your decisions.
Okay.
It's not like a separate thing you check off. It's like a lens.
Yeah, a lens.
You view your choices through.
I like that, yeah.
So for someone running a business, it doesn't mean dropping everything to start a nonprofit.
Right.
It could be choosing suppliers with ethical practices.
Yeah.
Offering a portion of your profits to a cause you believe in.
Right. Yeah. So it's not radically changing everything.
It's more of a subtle shift.
Yeah.
The Source gives this example of a business owner going eco-friendly. Good for the planet, obviously.
Yeah.
But they suggest taking it a step further. Thinking about how it strengthens your brand.
Yeah.
Attracts like-minded customers. Even opens up new markets.
So it's not either.
It's both.
It's finding that win-win.
Yeah.
So I imagine this applies to any field.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Think about a teacher integrating social justice themes into their lessons. Not only educating students, but creating a more engaged classroom.
Right. It's finding that overlap.
Exactly.
Where purpose and profit reinforce each other.
Yeah. And the more you make those choices, the more the universe seems to conspire to support you.
I know some people might hear that and think, that's a little out there.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of research that shows purpose-driven work actually does lead to greater success.
Yeah, it makes sense. When people feel connected to something larger, they're more motivated.
Right.
Resilient.
For sure.
Productive.
And we see this all the time, right?
We do.
Look at companies like Patagonia.
Yeah.
Built their whole brand.
Yeah.
Around environmental activism.
Or Ben & Jerry's.
Exactly.
Consistently advocating for social justice.
So it's not just this idealistic pipe dream.
No, not at all.
It can really drive success.
It's real.
And it's not just big corporations either.
Yeah.
Think about entrepreneurs. building businesses around sustainability.
Right. It's about the intention making that choice.
To use your skills and resources to make a difference.
Yeah, and start small.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be this grand gesture. Right. Volunteer an hour a week, support a crowdfunding campaign, even just talking to your friends and family about issues that are important to you.
It's about those consistent actions.
Right.
That align your values with what you do.
And when you do that, something magical happens.
Why not?
It's like this ripple effect.
Okay.
Your actions inspire others, creates positive momentum, attracts new opportunities and resources.
So as we wrap this up,
I
want to leave you with this question.
Okay.
What if this whole cosmic shift idea, whether you take it literally or not, is an invitation to be more purpose-driven?
What if this date, December 24th, is a reminder that we can choose alignment?
At any moment.
Yeah.
Use our gifts and resources to make the world a little better.
A little brighter.
Yeah. Gorgeous.
I hope this stays with you.
Yeah, me too.
It's not about some specific date. It's about the potential we all have.
Absolutely.
To make a difference.
Each of us.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Until next time, keep seeking.
Keep growing.
Keep shining your light.